So welcome to another video. You may recall in a previous video that my friend Mark here and I spent an hour discussing our two cameras. We thought it would be nice to come out and do an evening shoot here in Whitstable because there's some fascinating structures and it's kind of home of oysters, that kind of thing. But I thought I'd be sneaky and I will challenge Mark, because he challenged me, right, with the black and white photography. What do you think about that?
It's going to be fun. Yeah.
So what I'd like you to do is, because street photography is your bag.
Yeah.
And
this was going to be good for street photography.
Okay. Then how about we do some landscape photography as well? Now that's my challenge to you. I think because we got the pub, the Neptune, down the road.
Yeah.
And it's a really nice, because the sun sets behind it in the west. We should get it's a glorious day. Should get a lovely wash of light. So, are you up for that? Are you up for a landscape?
Definitely. I love landscape, but as you found when we've been out shooting before, not the best at landscape. It's not my forte.
Okay.
Not my forte.
Excellent. Okay, so we'll do that then.
Okay. So what is it? Just like one picture? Just one picture of the Neptune?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Anything we like, but it's the Neptune.
Well, yeah. The theme is the Neptune. It's landscape, isn't it? But
Yeah. But it's got it's got to have the Neptune. Okay. Well, can I counter your Neptune with another one?
counter.
Yeah.
He wants to counter people.
So how about, as soon as we're in Whitstable, being the home of like oysters, how about we have a second photo, but it's got to be oyster themed.
Oyster themed?
Oyster themed.
My God. What could that mean?
Well, so anything oysters.
Okay.
So as long as there's something oyster related, so I'm going to claw back some points on the...
Do oysters have claws?
Yeah. Claw back some points, so seeing as you want landscape, I might be able to...
Okay.
I might be able to sneak in a bit of street or documentary.
Okay, so that's landscape of the Neptune, something themed. Let's make it a 3-shot video then. So we do 3 shots each. The third one can be whatever we like. It could be
anything
people, it could be night scene, because the sun will go down soon enough.
Yeah.
We'll get some street lights or whatever. Just a third shot. So we'll present to the viewers 3 pictures at the end. And it will be our take on the Neptune, our take on the oysters, and our take on just something.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah.
As long as your third shot isn't me at the end of the night drunk, Great. Designated driver today, not me.
Yeah, I'm teetotal. I've got the coffee, so that's fine. Right, we'll finish our supper and we'll get cracking with the video. Hope you enjoy it.
Right. I've managed to lose Tudor for a little bit. And I know Whitstable a little bit better than Tudor does because I grew up just up the road from here. So, I've snuck off to a little place that I know just down by the harbour. The light's looking gorgeous now. It's just coming up from behind the camera, lighting things up. So I'm going to get a few industrial shots because I know it's something that Tudor won't go for. So, I'm currently got my 50mm, but I think I'm going to change that to a 27mm because I haven't got zoom lenses like Tudor's got, so I'm going to be flipping between lenses. Right, so you can probably see we've got some nice industrial pipe work going on, and then the light is just coming in to the right hand side. So we're going to get a nice shot of this, and then we're going to head a little bit further down. There's some nice light down there. There's also the lobster shack, which I'm hoping Tudor's not going to find and doesn't know about. So I might be able to get my oyster shot a bit further down there. But I want to see if I can get this for my take a photo of anything picture. So I've got my 27mm on now. I'm going to dial in some settings to try and get the lighting right. And then hopefully, I'll put it back on focus. Hopefully get something nice rolling in. So I'm going to go about f9, f10, There we go. And that's shutter speed of 30, 1 to 30. That's not bad.
Well, I don't know if this counts as the one single shot because I've followed Mark around here and there's the wedding and it's amazing. So I'm going to take a couple of shots because they just have to be done.
Just come around to the lobster shack. It's a beautiful sunset. I'm just going to turn the camera around so you guys can see. There's the lobster shack there. But I've just spotted that there is a beautiful wedding. And I'm going to ask these guys if I can get a nice wedding shot of these for my one single shot right next to the lobster shack. So wish me luck. I'm going to turn the camera off now because they're having their photo taken by their real photographer, but I'm going to see if I can
this
sneak
is really tricky for me because unlike Mark, I kind of generally go for big wide open vista type shots. But we've got all these oyster shells and this is the only thing I can think of short of going to a shack that's got the word oyster on it or something similar. So what I want to do is try and get down on my knees here. We've got an old oyster catching type boat. The oysters, but we've got all these old oyster shells and they're kind of just all over the place. So I'm going to get down here, try and get a perspective that takes in the shells with the boat. You can see here on the live view I've got the old oyster boat, I've got all these oyster shells here, so in terms of perspective I think that will work well. So that's my live view, so I'll take a shot. As a composition. Oh, probably do a bit of bracketing here as well. Yeah, 2 shots. Foreground is focused, the background is focused. It's just lovely. Look at these shells. Amazing. I'll take a whole bunch of pictures. And one of them will be my one shot of oysters.
So, I've managed to get the shot. They kindly, hopefully you'll see it up on screen in a minute, I'll get you to put it up. I think I'm going to use that as my one shot. So they kindly let me take a lovely photo of them. Fingers crossed that is the one. We'll see how it comes out and I'm going to go on and find my next shot.
Okay, I've left Mark behind, he's doing his oyster shot. He's definitely going to get something better than I because he has an eye for that kind of thing. But I'm heading to the Neptune because I want to try and catch the sunset, but sadly again we've got this sunbank, if I can get the camera to focus. A lovely lush wash of red, as you can see there, right across the reflections of the water, and we got the Neptune in the distance. So I'm going to set up over here, just walk over these groins. There's a crescent moon. It looks just fabulous because it looks so big as well. So with a little luck I'll set up in a second in front of the Neptune, capture it. And this glorious reds, look behind me. That is just, come on camera, just a lovely Kentish sunset. Love these kind of sunsets, really do it for me. It's alright, yeah, let's go and set up. See if we can get a shot of the Neptune with that crescent moon and some kind of reflections. I might even do a pano, that's a good idea, so that I can get the red rays and hues on the water. Right, we'll be back with you in a minute.
I've got my shots from over by the lobster shack. Now I've come down to the oyster beds. Now I know they're here. I'd imagine Tudor's probably seen them by now because they're starting to just pop above the water, surface of the water. But this is what I was thinking. I might take on the landscape challenge and see if I can get a proper landscape shot. I'm going to try a couple of different lenses. But I've just got the light and it's coming across now, so I'm going to get these quick and see how they come out. So let's see how it goes. Right, I think I've got a shot. I'm struggling a little bit with the light, it is a bit dark. I'm going to try one other lens, see how that comes out, and fingers crossed we got the Oyster Shot to beat Tudor's. Hopefully. Right, so I've changed to my 135 lens, which is a lens I never use, just because I want to get a bit closer to those down there, and the sun is now starting to light up just in front, so fingers crossed I can get that shot in as the tide goes out. Once I finish this, probably going to head down, see if we can get the Neptune shot. I think Tudor may have already headed down there, maybe, because it looks like you're going to get some really nice dusty shots behind with some washed out scenes, which will look absolutely great.
Right, the best thing I can do for you here is give you the live view straight away, so that you've got what I've got. Oh, it just looks glorious already. We've got the Neptune, there it is. Focus in on that. And just behind the Neptune, just about there, is the Crescent Moon. Take a test shot, just see what I get. Good. So what I'll do is a couple of bracketing shots here. I'm going to close down that aperture. Just see what I get. Ooh, that looks lush. Okay, so that's the shot. The old Neptune. It's a honeypot location. There's no denying that. I hope it only takes one. Have I reset the camera from my last shot? Yes, that's the way to do it. 1/3 of a second. A couple of bracketing shots, that's what I've got to do. Ooh, it's pretty as. And I'll take one more. 2.5 of a second. That sky's changing all the time. And I do like that moon in the background. I took the auto ISO off. I was not relying on that. Good. That potentially is my Neptune shot, which I'm kind of pleased about. So get those lovely reds of the sky. Can you just see that? And the pub. Here he comes. Shh. We're talking about you.
You're talking about me?
Yeah, I'm filming, yeah.
Oh.
But that's all right, you can be in the shot. He's wandered back. Hang on, it's getting dark here now. He's wandered back.
I've caught up with you.
Yeah, did you get some good shots?
I got some lovely shots, I think. But I still haven't got a picture of the
Neptune.
I got one further back there.
And I think the sun's going down now.
Yeah.
But look at that moon, that is astonishing.
The moon is fantastic. How have you been doing?
Yeah, I sneakily did. I want to give the light because it's dark, but I sneakily did some panoramic because I wanted to capture the beach as well as the Neptune. So we'll see how that comes out. But let's conclude.
Is that going to class as your 3 photos?
Well, the Neptune. No, hang on. What? Shot 1, shot 2.
Shot 3, yeah.
Potentially, yeah. Oh, look at that moon, it's beautiful. Yeah. And there's Venus on the other side of the Neptune. And is Neptune not a astrological...
Yeah, it's one of the planets, isn't it?
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah.
Neptune.
Yeah.
So we've got Venus, Neptune and the moon.
Yeah.
Oh dear, he's clever, this guy, you know. He went to high school.
Yeah.
What?
I'm going to get my photo of the Neptune.
Okay.
Might take one inside.
That's a clever idea. Right up your street, or inside the pub is.
Well, I'm just thinking they've got beer in there, so. And I've got my driver with me now. Oh, now I've found you again. I've got my driver back.
All right, look. Let me get this shot.
I'll let you carry on. I'm going to go and find a shot.
Yeah. And I might join you in.
And then I'll meet you inside for a beer. How's that sound?
Yeah, and then we'll do our conclusion. Shall we talk about what we did?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Right, he's off.
See you later.
I'm going to take this shot and then I'm going to join him for a beer. Or a shandy, because that's what I do. Well, here we are. We're in the Neptune. Was that all right for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, that was good.
Did you get everything you wanted?
I tried. If I'm not allowed my cheap photo, which covers the oysters and the Neptune in one, and I get 2 free photos, then I might have surprised you because the oyster photo I might pick might be a landscape.
Oh, okay.
Which is surprised me. So.
And did it have the Neptune in it, in the background maybe?
No, but weirdly, the Neptune one, as we saw earlier when I met up with you, I kind of ran out of time. So I don't know, I'm going to have a pick through those because some of the ones that I took were very dark and I struggle with them.
It's a really hard kind of choice and decision that you have to make because we were walking around and I was seeing so many good shots that I ran out of time. You know, by the time I actually got to the Neptune, sun had dropped behind the clouds, moon was out, but it was like, well, where's my composition gone? So kind of working with what we could.
Well, I found, because my oyster one, I wanted the oyster beds. And I already had that in my head, that I wanted the oyster beds. And I got so, it was so beautiful out there, and I got so excited by it. I was taking pictures and pictures trying to get the right shot. And then I realised I'd lost all the light for the Neptune, which is just before I caught up with you.
Okay, well look, let's wrap the video up. We've done one shot each of a Neptune.
Yeah.
Are you going to go?
Can I have my cheap one?
Yeah, I think you should. Okay, so
no, I'll play by the rules.
We'll do my shot first, then we'll do his shot. These will be the Neptune shots, so cue Neptune shots. So this is my Neptune shot. It's the honeypot shot. It's the only location I can get with the sun behind me, but what I particularly wanted to do was try and capture the Crescent Moon in the background. I did this as a 2-shot panorama in the end, not 3. So, 18mm I'd have got everything, but I needed to get the definition, so I pushed it in. I thought, well, if I zoom in and then do a panorama.
So this is my Neptune picture. I've gone for a much tighter, this is more my style, I've gone for a much tighter shot on it. I have got a picture that's really similar to yours. I leave a lot more grain in, it's not a pano. But this, I liked this. I have done a bit of post-processing because the light was out on the side. So I've managed to save the sign from the darkness, and I just think it's a bit more me. I've tried to keep the brickwork in so it's not a full silhouette, to give it a bit of texture, the same as the boards of the cladding. But I just like the way it sits against that sort of rich blue sky.
Now we will do our oyster shot. And so we'll start with his one this time, followed by my one. Here's the oyster shots.
I struggled to pick one for this because I've got a couple of shots that I quite liked, but this is the one I've gone with. Originally I took the photo as a black and white, and then whilst processing it, as soon as I opened it up, I just really liked sort of the rustic colours of the boat, and with that sort of nice wash just to the left of the background, because it's sort of a real sort of pastel-y shades. I just think it brings it out. It looks really nice as a black and white shot. It's just quite a moody shot, and you can kind of darken it down a bit and it gives it a real moody feel. But when I opened it and it came up in colour, and you've got that patina of the rust on the boat, I was like, no, it's gonna be colour. As much as I like my black and white photography, I just felt no, I've got to keep this one as colour. Yeah, so, it is a bit more me again, isn't it?
So yeah, it is you, because your Neptune was a close-up, your oysters are close. And when you compare your oyster image to mine, which I will show now, I've gone for that.
Oh, you got the same boat.
I've gone for the boat, but I've pulled right back. I was right on my tummy for this, because I saw the focal point being the boat, but I loved how the beach was. It was just all oyster shells. I've not seen this before. Normally it's pebbles or it's sand, but everywhere you looked it was just oyster shells. And I'm thinking, have the sailors kind of had their lunch and they've taken the oysters out and cast the shells to one side? But what I wanted to do was make sure the boat was in focus as well as the foreground. So what I've done, I've bracketed 2 shots. I took a shot focusing in on the boat, and I took a shot focusing in on the oyster shells, and then I've blended them together in post-processing. But the essence of my oyster picture, it's just full of oysters. And finally, we were allowed one extra shot, but I think we probably...
Have you picked yours yet?
I think I have.
See, I don't know. I don't know what to pick. So these guys are going to know probably before I do.
I know what we'll do. Let's choose, because we took so many random pictures.
I got some.
And I think what I'll do is I'll present my random pictures, and we won't know what they are until we get to post-processing. And then we'll present Mark's 5 random pictures, or as many as he wants. Just a little gallery sequence. So my first shot are the wind turbines on the beach, out to sea. I've taken away the sand, so all I've got is blue hues, the sky. I really like this. I like the 3 boys, random chaps in the sea, and the way the sun is cast on there.
I love this shot. This is probably my favourite shot of all of yours that you've taken.
Wow.
Yeah. If I was going to process it slightly different, I'd probably crop it a bit narrower, just to highlight the buoys, as you call them. Yeah. With that sort of traffic light system. I just think it's a really nice shot. Yeah.
Okay, my next one, I was taking some random pictures because of the wedding of the girl and the bride and the groom. And to my right were these girls. They were obviously a night out and they were having their drinks. And they thought I was taking pictures of them.
Well, you was. There is a picture of.
Well, there is, because I said, no, I'm not taking pictures of you, but now that I'm here, do you mind if I take a picture of you? Kind of street photo. And they're like, yeah, okay. And they started posing. I said, no, don't pose. I just want to take a random one as if you don't even realise I'm there. So just act naturally, and I caught all of them doing something independent of each other, except for this girl in the front who just consistently kept looking at me while I'm taking a photograph. So it was just a random picture, and it would be a lovely one to have as my random shot, but yeah, it's not the one that I'm going to choose. Okay, we were again at the Lobster Shack, and I was watching the bride and groom walk by, and to my left, someone had left a drink on the table, and I thought that would make a great shot. And I zoomed right in. I was on my knees taking a picture of this glass that was on the table. And what I like about this is the fact that you've got the inverted Lobster Shack in the reflection of the glass, and I guess that's the sort of prism effect that liquid will do in a bottle. It kind of inverts it or makes it go upside down. As we were walking back from the oyster area, I spied this old Vespa. I thought to myself, if I can just take a shot and use the flash to enhance the foreground with the sun diminishing in the background, that might work. And I'm really pleased that it did, actually. Nice little square crop. I've got the reflection of my flash in bodywork. Just a picture of a motorcycle, but not the one that I would choose for my random 3. And then we did catch the Crescent Moon. If this had not have been so grainy, this would have been my number 3. I was just amazed that the moon was kind of the same height as the chimney on the Neptune, and by the time we had finished on the beach and walked to the front of the Neptune, the moon was actually dipping down. Like the sun was setting. It was like a moonset, but it was so big in the sky. I've got to take a shot of that, but I think I was a bit rushed and didn't know what settings I was using. So finally, the one shot I'm going to present is my 3rd of my 3-picture challenge, and it's this. What I did, I was standing where the girls were on their bench, and the bride and groom had walked onto the quay, and the wedding photographer and the wedding videographer were actually taking shots and film of the bride and groom just doing their random stuff. I just happened to capture the groom lifting the bride like this. I thought, there's so much activity going on, but I'm capturing it at that moment in time, and I think it's the colour, I could perhaps bring out the brightness of the bride's dress, to be quite honest, in this picture, but it's the background colour, it's dusk, the sun's setting, and there's all this activity going on, and all 3 of these, well, there's 4 if you count the bride and groom, but the photographer on the left is busy doing her thing. the videographer's busy doing his thing, and the bride and groom are busy doing their posing. And I love the bouquet just sitting on the floor on the right. So they're my random shots, and this is my chosen third one.
Right, so this was right at the start, just after we both kind of left each other. There's a big industrial unit, and I took it because the light was coming in and catching the pipes and the side of the tower. But I quite like it. It's not amazing, it's not my favourite industrial shot, but it was all I could get at the time. So this one, I really like this picture. I took it just before we split up.
Okay.
So we hadn't actually started filming on this one. It was just before we split up, and we were strolling down to the harbour.
Yeah.
And in the harbour there was like a sailboat. And obviously, me being me, I like to get quite close to my subject. And I saw all the rigging, and then the boat was so colourful when I actually looked down over the side into it. And so you've got the deck was like this like pastely blue, and then you've got like a yellow sort of mast, or I don't know, that's a part of the mast, I don't know. And then the main mast is like this reddy rust orange.
Yeah.
But there were so many different colours going on, and obviously because we'd only just arrived, that sun was so bright and zingy, it just lit everything up. So just a really nice shot. So I just wanted a picture of the rigging, because when I got the whole boat in, it lost that kind of vibrancy. So I literally just took a picture of the rigging that was there, and I just really liked the shot. Now this, I love this shot. This was in the mix for my pick. It's actually, I've cropped it quite narrow, but I like the silhouetting.
I like what you've got with the lobster shack. You've got the light of the sun coming through.
Yeah.
And it kind of balances the darkness on the left-hand side of the picture.
Yeah,
by giving a little bit of illumination.
It just kind of holds it that side, I think. I think if it had all been black, then you might as well have just cropped all that side out. And I suppose it kind of mirrors like the opposite. The left-hand side, you've got the dark with the light in the middle, and then on the right-hand side, you've got the light with the dark in the middle.
And you've actually caught what could be classed as a landscape sunset.
Yeah. It's probably as close as I really get to landscapes. My favourite part is you have to look quite closely. There is just by the silhouette of the telescope.
Yeah.
There's a man behind that, which is one of my favourite parts of it, just sitting on the railing, and you just kind of spy him out the corner. When you're sort of scanning, your eye scans around, you just kind of spot him, and I just think...
Is he not the groom from the bride?
It could well, but yeah, that could well be the bride and groom, but it just is kind of perched on that railing. So I really like this shot, and it was very nearly my pick. This is the shot when the bride and groom were right by me, and their photographer was running around them taking pictures, and I managed to just grab them as they were walking back and ask them if I could get a shot. It wasn't the best shot. I've had to do a little bit of work to it to try and save it, because the light behind the lobster shack was so bright as the sun was setting. One side was blown out, and where they decided to stop and let me take a photo, they were all in the shade and were really darked out, and so it was the wrong way round. I didn't quite hit focus on it. It's not quite perfect. Weirdly, that the groom's got his eyes closed, but I kind of like that. It gives it a bit of realism.
Has he got his fingers crossed as well?
Quite possibly. This was another one in contention for my shot of choice.
Okay.
I really liked this shot. I just spotted the girls. I don't know if they were bridesmaids for the wedding or just guests, but I was about to take a shot of the lobster shack sign with the deck chairs, and then the girls kind of walked past and kind of stopped there and started smoking a cigarette, and I just thought, again, it's a street shot on a beach.
Yeah.
It just has a really nice feel. I barely done anything to it to edit it, straightened it a little bit,
But you made it black and white.
Yeah, black and white. It was in colour. It just didn't have that feel to it. Black and white, just with the deck chairs. I like the shot. Yeah, definitely. It was in there. It was probably what I would have picked next if I didn't pick my winning pick. This shot, I was again, it's kind of like the street stuff. I was just walking past something, spotted that, and I was like, that'd be my oyster shot, that will. And I thought this is what I was going to pick for my oyster shot. It's one of the buoys that go round the oyster beds.
Okay.
And it just come in. I took it as black and white, and it was in my head. It was black and white shot all day long. And when I opened it up, the colours come up, and I was like, I just love the colours. I just like the way they sit together. It's a weird random shot of stuff, which is kind of my thing. But I just really like the shot. Again, it works brilliantly as black and white. Yeah. But for this, I picked colour, and I've left it colour. I
could see why you would have it as a nominee for the Oyster Shot.
Yeah.
Because it is everything to do with oysters.
It was oyster themed, so.
Yeah. Ah, landscapes.
Landscape.
What have we got here? What's all this clutter going on?
So these are the oyster beds.
Ah, okay. It's like an oyster farm or something.
Yeah, this is
I
where
thought I saw that.
This is where they get the oysters from. They're like trestles, and they are the oyster beds themselves. And as the sea goes out, they kind of come into view. They kind of drop below the
is that
tide.
When they harvest them, they go out when the tide's gone out.
Yeah, so they go out and collect the oysters off of these, and there's hundreds of them out there.
So a nice shot,
but not the one.
Not the one. Ah.
No, my cheat shot.
Yeah, you mentioned this.
Yeah.
Can I have a cheat shot?
This was going to be my cheat shot. I was going to use this for all three.
So you were only going to take one picture?
Just take one picture. Just submit one picture.
And then go out for a drink?
Yeah.
So what have we got here that suggests it's one picture?
Well, we've got the oysters for oyster theme. So the oysters written right across the middle, plus the pictures of them.
Okay, yeah, fresh from.
You wanted a picture of the old Neptune.
Yeah.
There is a picture of the old Neptune on there. And I thought, well, it's quite a nice sign. Yeah. So I could use it as my random other shot as well.
So where I took 3 shots of the Neptune and they class as my 3 shots, you've done 1 shot.
Classes all 3 of mine.
Classes all 3. I love
well, you were making work for yourself. I was saving drinking time.
Prioritising.
Yeah.
Who needs to go out and spend an evening with the camera? Just take one. In fact, just go to the pub with your camera.
If I was doing this, it'd be a 3-minute video.
Right, we now move to the picture you've chosen.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I picked one, didn't I?
You did. Your random 3... This is your 3rd picture.
This is my picture.
Look at this.
Now, I love this picture. And it was kind of a toss-up between this and the lobster shack one with the deck chairs, I think. But I had to pick this one in the end because when I took the picture, I knew I liked it instantly. Straight in the camera, I liked it. I took it as a black and white. I loved... When we were standing there at the time, I loved the way that the background was kind of really soft, but you could still see it.
All the different layers.
Those different layers in the background. And as you come forward, you've got all the stuff that's going on that I like to look at when I'm taking my weird industrially sort of streety type photography. It's there and it's on show.
Yeah.
But the whole picture's got this feel that it could have been taken in like 1904.
Yeah.
And it felt like that when we was there, and as soon as I took it, I loved the shot straight away. And then the more I look at it, the more of the little details that I pick out and I see.
Yeah.
The little seagull just kind of sitting offset to this great big ship next to it.
Yeah, oblivious to the world.
Yeah, so you've got all that space on that side with this tiny little seagull, and then on the right you've got this great big boat, and they just kind of are really in tension with each other. The only thing that I did consider changing, and I did think about it hard, was up in the top left there's an aeroplane. You've got that jet stream of an aeroplane,
yeah.
And I considered taking it out, and I thought, no, I'm going to leave that in. It's part of it. If I was trying to recreate a photo from sort of 1905, yeah, get rid of it. I'll get rid of that, and I'll. But I was like, but it's not. It's 2021. I'll leave it in. That's part of it. If someone was to look at this photo in 100 years' time,
Yeah.
they'd still get the same feeling as like an early 1900s, but they would know that you've got the plane up there and the modern crane on the right hand side, but still get the same sort of feeling. I just really like it. It's one of my favourite pictures.
It's a worthy contender for your random 3. So let me display for you here, side by side. The top 2 are mine and your Neptune. The middle 2 are mine and your Oyster, and the bottom 2 are mine and your 3 randoms. I think they make a nice collection.
Yeah, I think they're great. I think that between us, we managed to get some really nice shots, and I think the ones we picked, I think all of them are worthy winners.
The 3-picture challenge.
Right, so that's the end of our video. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you for inviting me along. Thanks for watching, and as Tudor says, bearing with, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. I'm sure you'll see this guy again soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye for now.
Cheers.